Center CCU back again with another video. Now, if you watch my other videos, you know I do other like sports stuff, but I'm also gonna start doing more of these videos too. It's just gonna be a movie review this time. I never did this before, but this is something new I'm trying on the channel. So if you've been watching my other videos, hope you like it, and I assume that you would go with it. Maybe not. I don't know. This one's a little bit off for me. For some people, it's like a maybe some kid like or something, but some people really do love it. I've seen on social media reviews. This is my review of Zootopia 2. I've seen it days ago. I haven't been able to do the videos. I haven't had time. I'm very busy, holidays and other stuff. But um, before we get started, I do want to say this that I did not I did not know anything about this till a couple weeks ago. I had to rewatch the first one before I saw this one because I had no idea what the story was at all. I thought it was total different. I hadn't seen it since. Well, I didn't see the first one at theater. This one I did. I saw this one twice, right? Well, the first one was kind of a theater, but that's another story. But um, I kind of didn't know. I had to rewatch. It was like new to me. Then I saw, okay, this is what it is. Because for years I would see like this pop up in my feed. Oh, someone and he made like a. It was kind of well, okay. They wanted to do that. That's fine. But they did a fan um sequel or something that I didn't watch it, but I saw that pop in my feed for years, and I would see like these little memes and pictures of it and stuff, and I was like, huh, why did these people love this movie that much? Because it's like for kids in a way. Because there was a lot of adults really getting into it, which they still are. I seen they pop on my feed every day for some reason. I guess because I liked it and that they were coming out everywhere. Um, then this one came out. And I do think that it was a great movie, definitely. It was not, some things, were a little immature, but some things were good in it. That the characters were definitely. I see why people love them. Because in the beginning, when I first watched, see a kid watching is not really gonna get it that much. Because the first time I watched it, I was 10. I didn't really get it that much. It's like you got to be older to really get some of the things they're saying in there. 'Cause I didn't even care for the first one. I only care about them now since watching it older. So I guess that's something. That's just my opinion. Maybe other kids will be different, but I didn't get anything of it the first time I watched it. This time was different. I really felt connected. I really feel those characters made them. Real. There's some things to really say about them, especially the feelings part too. But definitely it picked off. So like the story was, it made it a week after, which is crazy because it's been 9 years since the first one, and to be honest, I didn't even know about the first one. I didn't even know it existed the first time around. Well, I was young at the time, but I guess that's how that goes. But this time they picked up a week later from the first one. They kind of recap you in the beginning, just in case you haven't seen the first one in a while. What happened last time they show that the assistant mayor, trying to shoot her with that gun that made them like I guess like act like an animal against because they act like humans, even though they're animals, they have them act like humans. Um, then she went in there. They didn't show her in the court, like when they arrest her and all that, and then it picks up with them, getting up and all that, and then it showed them, doing their first case. And it was kind of funny how he was trying to fake cry, fake for his little saying, that's that baby. He was trying to be blind. Oh, I thought that funny. But definitely, it was a good one for the last, I think. It definitely was a good one for the last, but for some parts were a little sure they made me cringe a little bit, 'cause, since I'm no longer a kid, you see, and yeah, but some things were really good about it. Some things are really good, especially the part where, especially, oh, and I forgot to say that in the beginning that, well, I'll put it down in the description. If you haven't seen the movie before, um, maybe not watch the rest of this video because I'm gonna do a lot of spoilers here. Um, Definitely the part where I guess where you know once it got like further into the movie, like that second part, that's where they really were going with it. That's where it started to get interesting. So you kind of had a little bit, of a slow start in my opinion, but once you got to that second part, it really started to get hilarious. Especially that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie where she punches Nick in the chest. Judy punches Nick in the chest or making fun of you. I thought that was hilarious. I love that. And he's still messing with it. Oh my God, he acts like it's something wrong, and that just winds up being it afterwards. So yeah, definitely they have a great personality together. But once it got to that second scene in the movie, that second part of the movie, especially the part where, and this is my personal opinion on this, and I'm glad, they put that in there for anyone watching that, kids or adults, or even adults that, then, um, it's good they put them in there, and, they show them like they're not all perfect either. The characters, they're not all perfect. They had their challenges, they had their reasons for doing certain things. Because he didn't want to tell her in the beginning that he really, she was the best thing that ever happened to him and all that. Um, but I really thought, when they had him say, they had the character say, hey, uh, you know, as solitary animals, I never really had any real parents and all that. And that was really good they put him in there like that. Because in my opinion, he'll make, kids feel good about themselves, that they shouldn't be ashamed that, at least a movie character, he may not be real a movie character, but at least they wrote that in there that he, didn't have any real friends and it won't make them feel ashamed just because they didn't have it either. And adults too, just in case like kids they didn't have any real friends. Because honestly, I never really had any friends as a kid either. That's just my personal opinion. So I really found that really that was good. They put that in there. They don't make people feel bad about themselves and they've done friends before and all that, and then you didn't her afterwards. But see, that was a good scene there. That was good. They put them that, especially that scene where he opened up to her and told her, "You're probably the best thing that ever happened to me." Years, but he was afraid to lose her, and then she started to tell him that. She does that because she's afraid that then people will say that she is what they say she is, or something like that. She said, I don't remember exactly, but definitely that scene was probably one of the best in the movie. They really put the emotion into a fictional. They did a great job. Because some those films don't even go that far into it, so they really did a good job. In a kids film, they did it good. But definitely, in my opinion, I think it's for good for kids and adults because it's definitely fun as well. It definitely will get the laughs too. Now, for some people, this may be too much for them, and I understand because that I really didn't want to see it in the beginning either. But once I rewatched it, then I saw, okay, yeah, these characters are cool. They did make them, some, and the part where they put the feelings in was great. The case went around that they were partners in crisis, that they didn't want them that Sheaf did not want them together anymore because she went too overboard with the first case when she was driving off fast. She kind of damaged a shop, and then she damaged she broke something, and something went fell down where the mayor was having like a speech outside, and then he said they have to call in a something to get that out of there and all that. And they were upset about that. Excuse me. They were upset about that, so then they had to they wanted to split them up, and now that they went to partners in prison, she had a reading that to try to get them proven. She was asked, "Do you think we're a good team?" They were like, "Yeah." And then they went into then they went to Judy, the character they make was energetic and was overconfident that she's gonna do whatever it takes and try to die for her. That's what she learns later on. Um, but she tried she went to this apartment and she was like, okay, she started telling him to do it, and she threw that thing. She gave him that suit, and they went to do it. Secret case, going after this Gary Snake, Gary the Snake. The Snake character was a little bit. fruity, kind of crazy. That's why it's a kids movie, but um, definitely, they went, secret, and then, once they were at that fancy party, she met this Paul Burt guy that Linksley, I think his last name was. And I was thinking it's good, they get them some of them full names because some of them, it was like this wouldn't do that, so that was a little bit different. But that Paul Burt kind of honestly seemed kind of awkward, kind of weird in being when she went up to him, he kind of couldn't introduce himself that well, so because he spilled some she spilled something on him. Then he cleaned his sweater, his suit. No, it was a suit. Afterwards, he was, but with a lion's tail or something. He seemed a little bit weird, but he seemed like what? He's a little awkward, but the family's being a little unfair, man. Maybe maybe it made it on him a little bit. But as it went into the movie, it got to that scene where they were pulling. She had them climbing up after they went out through those tubes or something, and then she was asking him, "Why is he joking, acting? Why is he joking, acting dumb like that?" And then he was saying that it was for something else. He didn't want to say why. I'm gonna save it for my therapy animal. And then they kind of get so scared, like, "Oh no, you need her therapy animal." Then they break that carrot pan, that parrot, that carrot pan recorder thing. I don't know. It was like they broke it. Then she kind of gets upset at him, doesn't say nothing, and goes up like he hurt her or something. Then he like comes after her, and then he tells her, the world is what it is, which that line is true. The world is what it is at the moment. Um, and then he was telling her it was not worth dying for, and then she was saying, what, we are different. Later on, he tells her, he doesn't care they're different, but no, they did have some similarities later on too. But she definitely, but the character was that she wanted to make the world a better place. She did not want to give up. She wanted to do it, even die for it to get that case, where she wanted it. So definitely that part was a little, emotional. That part got a little more serious. Then they cash in it. They break into the roof and they throw him away. And then he tries to fight back, go like this, and they knock him out and arrest him. So that part really seemed, a little bit like they weren't gonna make it, because he didn't make it. Then that Colbert, yeah, cat character gets Judy and he's with the cat. Well, not the cats. I'm sorry. The snake, the Gary Snake character, and he takes her to like his hideout room, like his little hideout room, 10 or whatever. They got all those little things in there, and it was kind of funny how he was saying like turn it off. He was acting like a cat a little bit, but he definitely seemed, a little funny, a little awkward already. He was like, I'm losing control. I just got my motorcycle license. He seemed like, just try to get away from you, man. He seemed a little bit kind of ridiculous, a little bit, funny, a little bit weird already. Like some, but then as you get later into the movie, that's where things, start to change. Because then once she goes after, where she was trying to go, he so he changes because he goes on his Linksley family side. He zaps her with something that kind of makes her like fall down or something that she wasn't able to get up. She was like this. She got all weak that she was on. They weren't gonna make it, but see, he changed and she told him to not do that or something, and he was like, I don't want to be that type. Because his thing was that he wanted to be accepted with his family, he wanted to be like them, because he didn't care. He wanted to be like his family because he wanted to be accepted with them, he wanted to be loved by them. That's why he was trying to help them. That's probably kind of was what it was, but it didn't get him very far in the movie, unfortunately, in the story with the way the people wrote it. But definitely, it was then afterwards, the new character, he goes to ride with the character from the first movie from the DMV scene. Because if you watch the first movie, the D&B scene, that flashes off, they saw him in the D&B the first time. This time was in But he meets him in the car and he tells him, that funny thing, flash dash, something, dry, no laws, whatever. And, he starts driving crazy. He gets him there. He tells him, how are you? You know, then he was able to get in there. That the other character went with him. I forgot the name of that one. See, I should have done my research for the video, but yeah. Then they went in there, and then unfortunately, that Paul Linksy character, comes after the Nick Wine character, and he tries to fight him. He tries to trick him in the beginning that, oh, nah, Judy didn't make it. He was trying to crush him so that way, he would get. Then he tries to, zap him. And he tries to kill him because he wants to get that book because he wanted to erase the Gary Snake's character's grandmother for making the city. Because the story was, Julie finds discovers that the character, not the character, I'm drawing like, what was wrong with this? The Gary's grandmother had made the Zootopia city, and she built the weather walls and all that, and the Paul Bird, the Linksley family, his grandfather erased it and then murdered one of them, all those years ago, because that was supposed to be way in the past for, the present story of the movie. So that was kind of interesting, and it was nice how they shared more, history about their little animal city, which was interesting. But after that, they went. Then after that, that's why he was trying to, take them out. So he tried to take Nick and Judy out because he wanted to make sure, hey, he wanted to he wanted to help his family because he wanted to leave his family's name in that book. He wanted to take them out so that way he can help his family. Afterwards, he tells him, "No, I was doing it to help us," which he was. Then finally, the mayor starts giving into their ways and kicks them out of there. And finally fights back, which I was happy to see that scene afterwards. That horse character. So whether so they put a new mayor in this one. So the last one was a lion or something. This time was a horse. It's all the animals in it. But definitely, I think it was a great story the way they did it. It was interesting. It was a good movie. They really did really well because they really smashed the box office, which I'm surprised that it went that high. They went to 1 billion because I read that story a couple of days ago because they went to hundreds of millions in just a few days. And then it went to 1 billion. They said it was the number one movie in the world for a few weeks, which that's pretty crazy. But I see why the characters' names are very interesting. They definitely made them, they made them, they had some of the challenges and, they had to overcome it. But definitely the characters, they made them have good personality. They made them good. Definitely was a good movie overall. But some people may not like it, some people may like it. So it's kind of like, a 50-50. But if you like some of it already just from hearing me talk about it, then, or you probably already seen the movie already by now, or by you're watching this video now. Yeah, it definitely, overall, I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I give it a 10 out of 10. It was definitely an emotional one. Usually, I do not watch, to be honest, I usually do not watch, a lot of animation kids movies anymore. It's just I started to grow up more. But this one definitely was different. Because some of the other ones, they weren't that good. Some of them were good. Because there was another one. Uh, I watched this one when I was a kid. Rio. That one was a good one too. They had a good story in that one. But this one was different since they had them acting like animals acting like humans, which that was pretty interesting. It's kind of funny how they have them in this city, and it's like oh, adapted to the animals and stuff. That was cute. And they definitely did a great character. The characters are definitely were cute. They were They were definitely enjoyable to watch. Definitely, it was a good movie, and especially it's good that they kind of it was kind of really immature because it's good that to ignore a lot of the outside stuff because sometimes some people we don't want to see guns and shooting and murder and blood and all that. 'Cause, we see that in real life, and the news and then car accidents and all this stuff. So it was good to see something different, something more toned down. 'Cause some of them, get too much. And, sometimes, some people do like the movies, which I see why they are, well, listening at, but not so much because, you see it in real life, right? Why see something negativity on TV? So definitely, definitely enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, you got this far on the video, and you did hear my some of my spoilers. Definitely watch it because it's a good one. Um, But I do recommend watching the first one first to really get what the story actually is, because that the first one really builds on what the second one does. It definitely was a great movie. I see why people really love those characters. People really love those characters. They was talking about them for years. I had, I was like, why do they like her so much? Then I asked one of them. They were like, oh, it's because it's the characters. And I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, it's the characters. I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do like them too now. But definitely, they definitely made that Fox Nick White character very cool. I really did like him. I was a fan of him through the movie. I did like how they made him, but definitely they made Judy very cute too, and they were good characters. I like how they made them try to do good and how she changed him and kept them going on her side afterwards. And did not have him on the underworld where he used to, if you watch the first one, he used to sell stuff and con people. She changed him to be better, and that was good. They showed them having the willing to change because they didn't want to change, but she changed him. So I definitely enjoyed it, but definitely it was a good film, and it was good that we got to see some of the things toned down, not so much of guns a lot of, murder or a lot of violence and stuff. 'Cause, a lot of that stuff happens in real life, really. Sometimes, you don't see it so much. So definitely was, I definitely enjoyed the movie. It's cool how they made that, but some references were in there because that there's a scene, and some may not know this if you have read some things about it. I forgot to make a mention of that the one of the characters that was in jail, the other fox that was more chubby, he was voiced by Michael J. Fox, the Michael J. Fox actor, I believe. It was like a 1 second scene, but they did let him do that. You probably wouldn't catch it. It's not long, but unless you read that, but I read that, so that was pretty cool. They let him do that. Uh, they definitely had some. They definitely the people that definitely the voice actors did a really good job in those characters. They really put the emotion in and all that. They really found good people, and it's good they were able to get the original voice actors to come back. It's that other animation movie that's pretty popular too. The Kung Fu Panda series, they were not able to get a lot of the original voice actors back if they wanted, too much money or something. So it was good that, this one they were able to, get all the original people back. It was some people wanted, be ready for this, which is probably true. They make them do a lot, but definitely it was a good movie overall. Um, some, I guess, it depends on what you like. I guess that's what I'll say. It depends on what you like. If you like some things like this, then it's a good movie to go see. But I know some people will not like it, especially the adults or whatever. No, that's a good one. That's sounds like no, but it's definitely good. A lot of people do like it. I do like the characters quite a bit in there, but they definitely had a good story going, and it's good how they showed at the end that they kind of give a teaser that they're gonna do a third movie in years from now in the future. there may be a third movie, which it probably will be because it's very popular. Just look how successful it is. Because look, they said how I have to. She tells her that I love you, partner, but I'm not. You know me, that I'm gonna get the same once a decade. He didn't like expressing himself that much because he said he had childhood trauma, which is uh, which is good. They kind of put that in there that they don't make people feel bad for having traumatic experiences in life. Because it's good how they put them in there like that. That hey, at least this anime movie character had that too. So it's good when they put that in there because even some of the when they put some things like that in, it's good because life has its ups and downs. It has its struggles. Things are not gonna be all good all the time. That's just reality of life. Some are gonna have it better than others. Some are gonna have worse than others. So it's good they put it like that. But it was then she tells him, "I'll keep this for our next case." See, that was the teaser for the third movie. And she says how he let all the prisoners down that would have to go get them. But it's good how they teased that, so it's at least it's gonna be a third movie. Now the movie definitely at least this one was a full length movie. It was longer than some of the other ones. 'Cause some of the other ones they get cheap, they don't do it that long. So it was good they did it longer, but definitely a good movie overall. And it's saying a lot for me because to be honest, I'm not much I never liked Disney stuff too much. I never was crazy about it too much. Kinda, well, I was, mm, yeah, so definitely not. I never liked it that much. So definitely, if you got this far, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. Oh, and one other thing too, that funny joke he says in the beginning, that he puts those goofy glasses on. He says that he asks him why is there a reason why you don't take anything seriously? He's all funny, like jokes are a classic defensive mechanism of a shrine shower. That was fine. But see how they had him saying, like, yeah, there's not jokes. In the beginning, he said he was bullied. If you watch the first movie, he said he was bullied. He wanted to be in the scouting thing because it was really bad. He wanted to be a Boy Scout. But the other animals thought he was bad and put a muzzle on him and bullied him and made him cry. It hurts him like so they shared a little bit, but hopefully, one day there will be a third film and he goes like into he will open up about more of his experiences in his childhood because they haven't saying that, but they haven't said, more of it. But they definitely said he was bullied. So it was an interesting story. The characters were good. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely think it was a good movie. Because usually I am picky about these things that if I watch something, I mean, that's good. That's good. That's a little mature. There's some things I did do this to that one too, but definitely I did enjoy it. But it's definitely one that you have to be a fan of, like you know characters like this. Like you gotta be fans of you gotta play you gotta like certain things like this. But I assume that if you have because usually if you're watching this video for the first time, I usually do not do videos like this. I usually do like sports, reactions of games. But this time I'm doing this because I'm gonna start doing more of this because since I already kind of review for sports games, I'm gonna start doing this more. So if you watched my channel before, I hope that you're enjoying this. So thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. You thought, maybe I was too boring or I went on too much or it was, leave it down below. If you give a like, if you were a fan of the movie, if you like the characters, let's talk about it. Comment down below. I definitely enjoyed it. It was a good one. Hopefully, you enjoyed it, or if not, it was too much. I won't do this video again, but definitely leave your comments below. Tell me what you thought about the movie. Hope you're all having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. You're safe and healthy and in good health, and I'll see you next time. Peace.